Ohayo gozaimasu, minasan. So, for those of you that don't know, that's how you say good morning in Japanese. Also, for those of you that don't know, I speak Japanese, so that's why I said that. Okay, so for this game, we have a nice game that was sent in. This game is from one of my favorite openings, and this player's rated 795, and sometimes when I use the games of players that are at certain rating levels, some players will say things to me like, why did you use a game that was of a person rated below a certain number? And I say, well, we can still learn from players of any rating level. There's always something you can notice. And also, I'll tell you that this is my channel, so I can do whatever I want. Alright, so e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, knight f6, and we're going to reach the 4 knights by transposition. Since this was the Roy Lopez start, though, you can also do things like d3 or bishop takes c6, or there's all types of things here you can do. Since it's the Roy Lopez, but there's all types of moves, and in this case we go knight c3, the 4 knights version. Bishop c5, and here white castles. Here's a very interesting thing, though, that you have to watch out for in openings with knights on c6 and bishops on c5. And this pawn on e5 here, there's all types of little tricks like this you can do, which is what I would do, because this is a little tricky move. If knight takes, you can then play d4, and we got the pawn fork trick working for us. And we'll get back one of the pieces. So yeah, you can do that. Of course, castling is always solid. And, I like to say avoid a hassle, always castle. So let's go ahead and let's keep going through. Black castles as well. The one thing that I see is there's a little bit of symmetry early on. And I like to try to break symmetry. That's why I would use like the fork trick. Right here, I think that black should have taken. And then the pawn on e4 can become a target. Black decided not to take. We see the knight taking and an early exchange of queens, and now white is up a pawn. And so one thing that we see happening after rook takes on e4 here is that white is up a pawn, but the one thing that we have to say that black does have is black does have the 2 bishops, which should offer some type of compensation for the point that is lost due to the fact that the field is pretty open. And so those bishops, in the hands of someone that's good with using the 2 bishops, would be pretty strong. And they could be potentially pretty dangerous. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit, and you see that black has made a little bit of a mistake here. And, and that's to be expected, sometimes pieces get lost, and that's what happens. And one other thing is sometimes pieces are given back. So that's one other thing, and that's one of the reasons why we say don't resign if, you're still, a little bit newer to chess, is don't resign, because, even if a piece is lost or a piece, something like that happens, you can always get them back. In this case, what I would have done instead of h3, I'll show you, is I would have gone rook d8. Oh, instead of h3, rook d8. Might want to come up. Here we go. Rook d8, with the idea that I'm just going to get another exchange off of the board after rook to e8. Takes, and then I'll retreat my bishop somewhere. And my idea is just, you want to exchange pieces when you're up material, right? And then the difference between having this extra bishop, if you get off the rooks, and then you're just left with just your extra bishop, then it's much easier to win. In any case, let's get back to the real game. And let's go through. And right here, actually I'm going to go back a few moves. Right here, the white pieces have a pretty good advantage, as you can clearly tell, based off of the 2 pawns. And let's fast forward. So the rook gets to the 7th rank. That's where the rooks belong, right? And being up this many pawns, it should be a pretty clear win. Right here, I think that the explosive move, c4, science joke, would be good, because you're just keeping the pawn safe. You don't want to let the rook take and start causing problems, because the rooks are very good active pieces, and if they can get behind the pawns, they can start making things more difficult than they need to be, like this rook is doing right now. Okay. I don't know if this pawn should be pushed to b5. I think that just rook e3, and then we can say something like maybe just marching these pawns while defending, and we can start getting ourselves close to queening. Might be good. You know, and then you don't have to make things easier for your opponent. You know, try to make things as difficult as you can. Alright, coming up we have an interesting tactic if someone can try to find it, you know. You want to see the way that white could have easily won this game. Would be just rook b8, and then you're skewering the king and rook, and yeah, that's game over. Let's go ahead and let's keep going through this game. And one thing to watch out for is when a lot of pieces and pawns start getting exchanged off, that even if you have one extra point, it might not be enough to win once everything starts dwindling down, you know. And right here, there's an opportunity that's missed after rook to a5 right here. If the black pieces just capture, yeah, I think that that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else happening in this game. Alright. And after this, though, completely turn around. After king b6, this game is already over. Well, actually, even before king b6, this rook can even retreat anywhere, and rook versus rook with the two connected passed pawns is already game over. And yeah, still game over because two connected passed pawns. We don't even need to watch to the end. But you know, we already know what's going to happen. These two pawns are just going to march up, and so I'm just going to go ahead and click to the final position here. This is what the final position looks like. As I'm sure you guessed, you can just march those pawns up and promote, and then you have enough to checkmate. So yeah, there's no real question about what happened there. And so yeah, interesting game. Some interesting opportunities that both players had. I like the choice of opening, and also I liked how I got to talk about those theoretical endgames that could happen with the two connected passed pawns and the rook and two connected passed pawns. Alright, so thanks for watching, everyone. Keep sending me your games, and you know, keep posting in the forum. Let other people know about my game analysis I do. Alright, see you later.